Hello there, welcome to my review of the Rockford Files Season 3, Episode 6, Coulter City Wildcat, written by Don Carlos Dunaway and directed by Russ Mabry. The episode begins with Rocky opining the wastefulness of his golden years when he used to be out seeking danger and seeing the world, and all he does now is buy groceries and go fishing.
I don't think I feel like going fishing the day you go ahead.
Oh, come on, what are you talking about?
Jim can't see what's particularly wrong with this lifestyle, but leaves him to dwell on it, which unfortunately he can't do, as the moment he enters his home, he's accosted by two goons and forced into signing away some oil rights. Frustrated by the assault, he slashes one of their tyres as they leave and gets a whack on the head for his troubles. Jim finds out about the assault from Dennis and he's furious his dad didn't tell him.
What makes you think you have the right not to tell me something like that?
Rocky can't figure what it was all about, apart from a lottery he's been taking part in that gives him the chance to win some land, which may or may not have oil on it.
And this guy Orzek, he chooses the numbers for you.
That's right.
He won a parcel of land worth $2,000, which must be what he signed away to the goons. But he already has the $2,000. Jim smells a rat and wants to investigate the people behind this lottery. This is yet another unique opening to the show, with Rocky front and centre from the start, and despite the assault being quite jarring, takes a much lighter tone, with Rocky thinking he fooled the goons by signing the paperwork with his left hand.
Well, I signed it, and I didn't sign it.
Thinking that croutons were stale bread.
Oh, watch them, they're stale.
No, these are croutons, Dad.
And taking to the lottery based on a recommendation from a pal who was scammed in an astrology chain letter.
Dad, who turned you on to this scheme?
Harry Sherwood.
Isn't Harry also the one who lost $500 on an astrology chain letter?
As saddening as it is to see a downbeat Rocky take out his frustrations on two guys way more opposing than him and losing, it's good that it sets the stakes high enough for Jim to want to get justice for his dad, and the humour really helps to switch the tone to make the episode more enjoyable from here on out. Rocky and Jim head to the location of the land Rocky's been gambling for, and Jim goes to see the man who's been picking Rocky's parcels,
Claude Orzak.
using the guise of Lyle Sayer, an oil tycoon.
Lyle Sayer, Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
He then investigates the land itself, but quickly faces opposition from a pretty well-organised security guard.
Unhook me, Rocky.
Y'all going somewhere?
Sneaking back onto the land, they find a test well that spews oil, but can't shut it off, so take off, pursued by the two goons that assaulted Rocky, plus a few more good old boys. After escaping them, Jim checks with Land Registry to find out what's going on.
Doesn't the Bureau of Land Management issue those leases?
It isn't officially issued. I put my stamp on it and sign it.
And discovers Registrar Walter Link sent a new parcel deed to a P.O. box in town that Rocky didn't know he had. Jim checks with the person who supposedly bought the land, O'Malley, but he turns out to be an anti-oil paranoid, with his own fallout shelter.
We won't have nothing to do with oil. Mister, I don't even use oil products, if I can help it.
Who might be a little eccentric, but he's dead on with his prediction about future wars.
The destruction of the world, that's exactly what it's going to be about, oil.
Clearly, the writers were attempting to paint him as a little wacky without wanting to go too far, especially as the recent American wars had been over communism, and the recent oil crisis had been solved diplomatically. But they could have aimed a little wackier, as we know that going to war over oil is exactly what happened next. If the intention was to paint him as reasonable in this concern, then they hit the mark. But I get the impression that's not what they were trying to do, and that they were trying to make him out to be a little more eccentric than they managed. While Jim tries to find out who sunk the well on what is now Rocky's property, the two original goons try to track Rocky down, who's gone to lunch. With the goons looking for Rocky and Jim looking for the goons who are looking for Rocky, he's hidden by a friendly waitress and the goons go the wrong way. Had they looked a little harder, they might have found a sports almanac in trash cans, as this was filmed on the Universal backlot. Jim's noticed several drillers who worked in the town have disappeared, and suspects that they drilled the well that they found and were then silenced. When they check back with Orzek, they find he too has been silenced, with the paperwork for Rocky's latest parcel gone. Jim suspects that Orzek and whoever killed him were scamming oil-rich land from anywhere they can get it and would be after O'Malley next to tie up any loose ends. So Jim uses his paranoia to get him to hide in his bomb shelter before getting himself and Rocky arrested. This brings Beth to town, who convinces the DA to let Jim set a trap for the real killer by selling off Rocky's parcel at auction. This works like a charm and the head honcho is caught, turning out to be an employee of an oil company gone rogue. With the crooks caught, they are able to restart the sale, this time revealing that there is oil on the land.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bidding is now reopened. $500,000!
It also means the return of the men who drilled the original well, having been sent to work elsewhere rather than murdered. It seems like everything has come up trumps as the crooks have been caught and Rocky and Jim are now very rich men. Until Walter Link turns up to burst their bubble, letting them know that as the parcel has already been drilled, it was never Rocky's to sell. This episode was a really fun caper that still managed to have a solid plot. It made sense to have the villain not revealed until the end this time around, and it kept the suspense at just the right height throughout. Rocky and Jim not getting rich at the end, while expected, was done really well, as I was expecting the well to dry up during the auction. My only real criticism is that it's a little unclear as to exactly what Rocky owns and when, as it looks as if he's cashed in one claim and signed away the other, even if it was under duress. It doesn't really matter because that's not what the episode is about, but I never knew what Rocky was supposed to have signed away or not signed away. As I said, I don't think that matters, and it's better to just forget about it and enjoy everything else that's going on. So for me, it's a 5 out of 5. Thank you. Goodbye.